Have you ever had the impression that people no longer perceive you as they used to, as though you've begun to fade into the background? One day people cherish your presence, pay attention to what you have to say, and ask for your guidance. The next it seems as though you've vanished from view, disregarded in discussions, omitted from choices, and regarded as though your age has somehow diminished your significance. This isn't just a feeling. It's a reality many face as they grow older. People assume you've had your time, that your best days are behind you, and that your voice doesn't carry the same weight. But here's the truth they don't expect. You are not done, and you are not going to let the world forget you. Because the real mistake isn't in aging. It's in allowing others to decide what you're worth. What if you could turn their indifference into admiration? What if you could make them see you, respect you, and even regret ever underestimating you? Today I'm going to show you exactly how to reclaim your presence, make them take notice, and prove that life after 70 isn't about fading away. It's about standing stronger than ever. The harsh truth is that as the years pass, people begin to overlook you. Conversations grow shorter, invitations become rare, and suddenly it feels as if you've faded into the background of your own life. But why does this happen? Why do so many people stop paying attention after a certain age? The truth is, society often sees age as a sign of weakness. People assume that growing older means losing relevance, energy, or purpose. They don't always do it intentionally, but in a world that glorifies youth, experience is sometimes mistaken for limitation. The moment someone believes you have nothing more to offer, they stop listening. Beyond that, the world moves fast. The younger generation is busy chasing careers, raising families, and keeping up with an ever-changing society. When life is rushing forward at full speed, they rarely pause to appreciate the wisdom standing right in front of them. They don't ignore seniors out of malice. It's simply that they are too caught up in their own whirlwind to notice. The most crucial reality, though, is that it's not always about them. It's about you, too. Many elderly people inadvertently fade into the background. They no longer voice their opinions, assert themselves, or present themselves in ways that call for attention. Silence gradually takes the place of confidence, and people begin to assume you have nothing more to say. It's not that you have changed, it's that others have perceived you differently. They see quietness as invisibility, politeness as passiveness, and patience as irrelevance. But none of that has to define you. The world will always make assumptions. It will always prioritize what is fast, loud, and new. But that does not mean you have to accept being overlooked. The way to break free from invisibility is not to chase youth, but to embrace presence. Stand firm in who you are, make your voice heard, and remind the world that experience is not a weakness, but a strength. Stop seeking validation. The need for approval can be one of the most limiting forces in life. It creates an invisible cage, trapping individuals in a cycle of seeking recognition, fearing rejection, and adjusting their actions to fit the expectations of others. It may seem harmless at first, wanting to be liked, hoping for acknowledgement, or waiting for reassurance, but over time it becomes a dependency. Personal authority is ceded to other people's opinions when external affirmation is continuously sought. People unwittingly give others influence over their sense of value when they depend on approval to feel safe. While criticism can destroy confidence, praise can increase it. Motivation comes from encouragement, yet uncertainty arises when it doesn't. External reactions take precedence over interior convictions in directing every behavior. But true confidence does not come from applause. It comes from within. Many believe that if they gain enough recognition, they will finally feel secure. That if the right people acknowledge them, they will have proof of their worth. But external validation is fleeting. What is admired today may be overlooked tomorrow. What gains approval in one place may be criticized in another. Chasing validation creates a cycle where contentment is always just out of reach, dependent on factors beyond control. Instead of living for approval, strength comes from knowing that worth is not something others can give. It is something that already exists. Decisions should not be made to impress, but to align with personal values. Actions should not be taken to be noticed, but because they matter. Ironically, the moment a person stops seeking validation, they often become more respected. There is something undeniably powerful about someone who stands firm in their beliefs, who does not seek permission to be themselves, and who does not need recognition to feel important. Confidence that does not depend on external approval is magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who move with certainty and authenticity. Do the unexpected. Life is often lived within the limits of what is expected. From a young age, people are told how to act, what to pursue, and how to fit into the roles assigned to them. But those who truly make an impact are the ones who break away from the predictable. They challenge assumptions, step outside the familiar, and refuse to be confined by what others believe they should be. When a person does the unexpected, they command attention, not by demanding it, but by being undeniably themselves. They disrupt the patterns people are used to seeing, and in doing so, force others to reevaluate their assumptions. Most people follow a set routine, wearing the same styles, speaking the same way, and pursuing what feels comfortable. There is nothing wrong with familiarity, but staying in the same lane for too long can make life feel repetitive. Imagine someone who has always blended in suddenly dressing with bold colors, expressing their thoughts without hesitation, or picking up a completely new skill. People take notice. They question their previous perceptions. They see someone who is not afraid to grow, to evolve, to break free from limitation. Stay socially active. Life is not meant to be lived in isolation. The world thrives on connections, conversations, and shared experiences that bring people together. Yet too often, individuals begin to pull away, assuming that their presence is no longer needed or that they have little to contribute. But the truth is this: those who remain engaged, who keep showing up, who continue to participate in the world around them, are the ones who truly live. Being a part of something greater than oneself is what social participation is all about, not just becoming noticed. It's about engaging in dialogue, becoming a part of communities, and appreciating the depth that comes from interpersonal relationships. Socially active people don't just exist, they keep evolving, learning, and inspiring others. People often underestimate the importance of presence. Simply showing up, whether at a gathering, an event, or a simple conversation, can make all the difference. The way others perceive someone is largely based on how they present themselves. If a person begins to act as if they have faded into the background, others will believe it. But if they walk into a room with confidence, engage in discussions, and participate fully, they command attention. Being present is a statement. It says, I am still here, I am still a part of this world, I still have things to offer. And when that mindset is embraced, others respond. They listen, they include, they acknowledge the value that presence brings. Staying socially active is not about being surrounded by large groups at all times. It is about maintaining meaningful interactions, no matter how big or small. A deep conversation with one person can be more fulfilling than being in a crowded room where no real connections are made. The mind begins to create doubts. Will anyone care if I show up? Do I still belong? But the loop that retreating from social interaction produces is the biggest risk. Re-engaging becomes more difficult the longer a person is absent. However, every instant is a chance to take a new stride, reclaim space, and show the world that you are still alive, well, and developing. Doubts are nothing more than illusions. The truth is, there is always a place for those who are willing to step forward. Breaking the cycle starts with one decision: to be involved. Attend that event. Join that conversation. Reach out and reconnect. The first step may feel unfamiliar, but every step after that becomes easier. And when one person makes the choice to engage, they inspire others to do the same. The energy of social interaction is contagious, and every person who stays active contributes to a world that is more connected, more vibrant, and more alive. Keep learning and growing. Growth is not reserved for the young. It is a lifelong journey, a continuous expansion of the mind, a refusal to become stagnant. The moment a person stops learning is the moment they begin to fade into the background. But those who remain curious, those who continue to seek knowledge and develop new skills, stand out. They surprise, they inspire, they command respect. The world is ever-changing, and those who choose to evolve with it remain relevant. Learning is not just about acquiring knowledge. It is about staying engaged with life. about proving that no matter how much time has passed, the desire to grow has not diminished. Many believe that past a certain point, growth slows. They assume that people settle into routine, that the hunger for knowledge fades, that curiosity is replaced by familiarity. But those who continue to challenge these assumptions redefine what is possible. They prove that learning is not confined to youth, that the ability to evolve never disappears. Imagine someone picking up a new language later in life, surprising those who assumed they had no interest in learning something new. Imagine someone mastering a new skill, stepping into an unfamiliar field with excitement rather than hesitation. These actions break expectations. They send a message: I am not done, I am still growing. Surprising people is not about seeking approval. It is about demonstrating that there are no limits to what can be achieved. It is about showing the world that the mind remains sharp, the spirit remains willing, and the future still holds possibilities. Learning is more than just an intellectual pursuit. It is an act of self-respect. It is a declaration that life still holds more to be explored, more to be understood, more to be mastered. Those who continue to learn sharpen their minds, keep their perspectives fresh, and maintain an edge that sets them apart. Consider a person who welcomes technology and becomes proficient with digital tools, rather than being afraid of them. This is too complicated for me, they say, but instead they say, I can figure this out. Just that attitude is admirable. It exhibits flexibility, a readiness to interact with the contemporary world instead of avoiding it. Those who don't settle for less frequently gain the respect of others. Others look up to someone who actively pursues information and never stops learning. Their inquisitiveness is captivating. Their motivation is admirable. Growth is not just about knowledge. It is about passion. It is about uncovering new interests, diving into creative pursuits, and keeping life exciting. Those who explore new skills, whether it be painting, playing an instrument, or writing, reignite the spark of discovery. Passion brings energy. It fuels conversations, lights up interactions, and makes every day feel purposeful. The process of learning something new, of overcoming initial struggles, and seeing progress instills a deep sense of accomplishment. And that feeling is contagious. It spreads to those around, encouraging them to also seek new adventures. Imagine a person deciding to write their first book or picking up a brush to paint for the first time. They are not doing it because they are required to. They are doing it because they can. They are proving that growth has no age limit, that new beginnings are always possible. Prioritize your health and appearance. Taking care of oneself is not vanity. It is a statement of self-respect. It is a declaration to the world that you matter, that you value yourself, and that you refuse to fade into the background. Those who prioritize their health and appearance radiate confidence, and confidence commands attention. A person who moves with energy, who stands tall and walks with purpose, naturally draws the eyes of others. Strength is not just about muscles or endurance. It is about presence. It is about carrying oneself with assurance, showing the world that you are engaged, capable, and full of vitality. Many people underestimate the impact of staying physically active. Movement is not just about exercise. It is about keeping the body in motion, keeping the spirit alive, and maintaining the ability to engage with life fully. A person who maintains their energy levels exudes strength, and strength is magnetic. Imagine walking into a room with confidence, posture upright, steps steady and purposeful. That alone sets a tone. It tells people that you are not someone to be overlooked. It tells them that you are present, that you are engaged with life, that you refuse to be sidelined. How a person presents themselves to the world is a reflection of how they see themselves. Those who take care of their appearance are not doing it for others. They are doing it because they understand their own worth. They recognize that dressing well, maintaining good grooming, and presenting themselves with dignity is a form of self-respect. Looking well put together does not mean following trends or trying to impress. It means wearing confidence like a second skin. It means showing that you still care, that you are still invested in yourself. People notice those who take care of themselves. They respect those who present themselves with pride. When someone puts effort into their appearance, they send a message. I value myself. I am still in the game. The mindset shift. You are still in control. Too often, people believe that influence fades with time, that as the years pass, their voice carries less weight, their presence becomes smaller, and their impact on the world diminishes. But this is a lie. Influence is not tied to youth, it is tied to attitude. The way you see yourself determines how the world sees you. If you carry yourself as though you no longer matter, people will believe it. But if you show up with strength, purpose, and confidence, the world will take notice. Presence is not about being the loudest in the room or demanding attention. It is about carrying yourself in a way that exudes value. It is about moving with purpose, speaking with conviction, and believing in your own worth. When you act like you belong, when you remind the world that you are still here, still engaged, still full of wisdom and power, people regret ever having overlooked you. Every room you enter, every conversation you have, every choice you make sends a message. If you step back and shrink into the background, the world will assume you want to be invisible. But if you step forward, if you contribute, if you show up with energy and determination, you remind people that your story is still being written. True influence comes from experience, resilience, and a willingness to engage with life. Those who continue to learn, to challenge themselves, and to remain active in the world are the ones who defy expectations. You're not invisible. We don't forget you. You're still here, you're still strong, and you can still have an influence. You have a chance to prove your importance to the world every day when you get up. You should not be disregarded for your existence. You have knowledge in your voice. Your life experiences are valuable. Don't compromise who you are to meet other people's expectations. Don't keep your thoughts to yourself because you believe no one is paying attention. Take a proud stance. Talk with confidence. Have a full life. You are far from done with the world, and the world is not yet done with you.